think you know Futurama? That pizza delivery guy who got frozen and woke up in the year 3000. You barely scratched the surface. Everything you thought you knew about this cult classic is wrong. Matt Groening didn't just randomly dream up this sci-fi comedy in 1999. He spent years researching science fiction books, TV shows, and films with writer David X. Cohen before they pitched it to Fox. But here's the kicker that'll blow your mind. Groening was terrified of robots as a kid thanks to creepy movies. And his brother once traumatized him by jumping out wearing a cardboard robot costume. Buckle up your space boots, because we're about to dive into the wild, twisted origins of this dead show that just refuses to stay canceled. From Fox to Comedy Central to Hulu, this series has more lives than a mutant cat. I have the power to blow your mind with the real story behind Futurama. Everything people think they know about Philip J. Fry is probably wrong. Here's the mind-blowing twist that changes everything. Fry is literally his own grandfather. Wait, what? In the Emmy-winning episode Roswell that ends well the planet, Express crew accidentally travels back to 1947 during the infamous Roswell incident. While trying to protect his grandfather Enos from harm, Fry accidentally gets him killed in a nuclear weapon test. But here's where it gets insane. Fry doesn't disappear from existence like he should. Instead, he ends up sleeping with his grandmother Mildred, who becomes pregnant with Fry's father. This creates the ultimate time paradox. Fry became his own grandfather by literally fathering his own father's father.
At times like this, I just need someone to hold me.
This twisted family tree isn't just a weird joke, it's the key to everything. Fry's genetic abnormality from this paradox gives him no delta brainwave, making him immune to psychic attacks and the secret weapon that saves Earth multiple times. His missing brainwave is what makes him invisible to alien mind readers and the universe's chosen one. The writers deliberately solved the grandfather paradox in the most disturbing way possible, creating a character whose very existence depends on breaking the laws of time and genetics. Ignor is Professor Farnsworth's son. Hold up, the dumbest of Mom's 3 evil sons is actually related to our beloved mad scientist. In the movie Bender's Game, Futurama dropped this nuclear bombshell that shattered everything fans thought they knew about the show's family tree. Here's the dark backstory. Decades ago, Professor Farnsworth worked for Mom's company and fell madly in love with the evil CEO, Carol Miller. Their passionate affair resulted in Ignor being born. But when Mom decided to weaponize Farnsworth's cute rainbow-shooting cat toy, he walked out on her, never knowing she was pregnant with his child. The twisted irony, Farnsworth spent years despising Ignor for being so stupid it's personally insulting. Completely unaware he was insulting his own flesh and blood, Mom kept this devastating secret for decades, even joking at Ignor's graduation that she flipped a coin, whether to keep him or the afterbirth. The reveal happens during a Star Wars parody, when Ignor overhears Mom telling his brothers the shocking truth. Later, father and son finally embrace their first hug ever, which literally saves the universe by destroying the dark matter crystals in both their stomachs. This family bombshell makes Ignor a direct descendant of Fry, connecting the show's biggest villain to its main characters in the most heartbreaking way possible. Leela's importance. She's the future savior of Planet Express. While Fry stumbles through adventures accidentally, Leela inherits the burden of being the crew's moral compass and true hero. Multiple versions of her backstory exist. Alien refugee, orphaned mutant, or least mutated mutant ever born from the sewers of New York, Leela discovers. Her parents have been secretly watching over her entire life, saving her from danger and leaving her birthday presents. Katie Sagal voiced this complex character while building one of TV's most versatile voice acting careers. She used her theatrical training to differentiate between multiple characters, from the tough-as-nails Leela to guest appearances as completely different personas. Sagal brought depth from her background singing backup for Bob Dylan and Bette Midler, plus her live-action experience as Peggy Bundy. She continued voice acting through major life changes, including pregnancy during Married with Children. And while building her dramatic career, her Broadway and musical theater training gave Leela's performances unexpected emotional depth. She won a Golden Globe for Sons of Anarchy while simultaneously voicing Futurama, Disney's Recess as Spinelli's mother, plus guest spots across multiple animated series. The dedication shows Sagal immediately wanted the Leela role when Matt Groening offered it, beating out comedian Nicole Sullivan, who was originally cast. Her commitment turned a one-eyed mutant into animation's most compelling female action hero. Across 160 episodes, Futurama cleverly subverted violence restrictions. Characters rarely got seriously hurt, instead getting comically knocked around. The crew fought by having Bender throw enemies into dumpsters, Leela kicking villains into pits, and Fry accidentally stumbling into solutions. When weapons appeared, they were used for non-violent purposes. Network standards and practices at Fox and Comedy Central imposed strict content guidelines, but the writers turned those limitations into comedy gold. After 9/11s, episodes were even toned down. Collapsing buildings and terrorist jokes were reworked in the interest of good taste. Billy West, not just a voice actor, but a radio personality legend. Before Futurama, he dominated the Howard Stern show with dead-on impressions of celebrities like George Takei and Jackie Martling. West recorded conversations entirely with himself, voicing Fry, Professor Farnsworth, and Zoidberg in the same scene on the fly. As co-creator David X. Cohen noted, "Usually people do one character at a time, but Billy had all three talking to each other flawlessly. His secret was that Fry's voice was simply what I sounded like when I was 25, which made him virtually impossible to replace." His other credits include Bugs Bunny in Space Jam, Stimpy, Doug, and the Red M&M. Davids Cohen was originally named David S. Cohen, and his name change allowed him to join the Writers Guild without conflicts, saving on legal complications. David X. Cohen voiced multiple characters himself and used the name change when another David S. Cohen already existed in the union. As guild policies prohibited identical names, he chose X because it sounded more C-F-ish for the space show. Cohen also performed voice work secretly throughout the series, announcing this as Virgin Cinches in heavily digitized form, filling in for Billy West on one line, and singing choir harmonies for the Die of Power in Bender's Game. But here's the brilliant budget hack.
Buh.
It's a sunny little doomed planet inhabited by a number of frisky little doomed animals.
Cohen designed one of the strip club robots with a gyrating waist using planetary gears. His one artistic contribution to the show that he was incredibly particular about. The original drawing still hangs, framed in his office. Plus, he wrote the music for Molten Boron and created the computer game Zoid in the 1980s, which inspired Dr. Zoidberg's name. Talk about multi-talented resourcefulness. Cohen literally built Futurama from the ground up, wearing every possible hat to make the show work on a tight budget. Mom's disguise could transform her from villain to sweet grandmother. Tress MacNeille voiced both Mom and Linda, same actress, completely different personas. MacNeille's vocal range fooled audiences into thinking there were multiple actresses playing these wildly different characters. MacNeille was incredibly prolific, recording between multiple animated series simultaneously. Also voiced iconic characters like Dodd Warner from Animaniacs and Babs, Bunny from Tiny Toon Adventures. Her cross-franchise success was legendary. She became the official voice of Daisy Duck in 1999 and continued voicing Disney characters while working on Futurama. Later appeared in modern shows and maintained her Futurama legacy through multiple revivals. MacNeille recorded over 200 voice credits, often working on competing animated series at the same time without conflicts. The transformation gimmick worked perfectly. Mom's public persona as a sweet, grandmotherly figure hiding her true evil nature became one of TV's greatest villain disguises. MacNeille's ability to switch between Mom's sweet fake voice and her real harsh, chain-smoking personality made the character unforgettable. Her voice acting made Mom simultaneously the most hated and beloved villain in Futurama, proving that great voice work can turn any character into a legend. Futurama sci-fi animated series almost called Doomsville because creator Matt Groening thought it was a good idea. His second choice was Aloha Mars. Both titles were resoundingly rejected by everyone concerned with it. The final name comes from a 1939 World's Fair exhibit showing what life would look like in 1960. Fox wanted the second Simpsons, but got suicide booths and robot alcoholics instead. Fox locked down. Charlie Schlatter and Nicole Sullivan as Fry and Leela for Futurama in 1998. Instead, the studio brutally fired both actors at the last minute. During development, Schlatter was starring in the short-lived Ferris Bueller TV series and Diagnosis, Murder at the time. Sullivan was a breakout star on Fox's own sketch show MAD-TV. As a result, Billy West and Katie Sagal got the roles and became iconic voices for decades. The original actors learned they were fired through devastating phone calls from their agents on the same day. Don Castellaneta voiced the robot devil in multiple Futurama episodes and movies. He's also famous for voicing Homer Simpson in The Simpsons since the late 1980s. Connection gives Futurama fans a link to another iconic animated pop culture property. Nicole St. John started her voice acting career with Futurama in 2000, voicing Orphan Sally and other minor characters. Worked largely uncredited on multiple episodes, providing her distinctive childlike voice for background roles. Born in 1974, she was a young, aspiring actress navigating the competitive 1990s Hollywood landscape during Futurama's development. Had dreams of storytelling, graduating from UCSD as a writer and studying at UCLA Film School before pursuing voice work. Later transitioned completely away from acting to become a talent agent, founding her own agency Elov 8 in 2010. Now advocates for other creatives navigating Hollywood's business challenges, helping actors avoid the struggles she faced early in her career. Her journey from uncredited voice work to agency founder represents the hidden stories behind beloved animated shows. Matt Groening almost called the show Doomsville because he thought it was a good idea. Fox brutally fired both lead voice actors on the same day through phone calls. Nicole St. John voiced orphan characters uncredited before becoming a talent agent. Don Castellaneta played both Homer Simpson and the Robot Devil. Invites audience participation by asking viewers to share their funniest or weirdest Futurama memories in the comments. Includes a call to action, encouraging liking the video, subscribing, and ringing the notification bell. Ends with a playful sign-off. Good news, everyone. I'm out.